Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. Now I'm going to go on a rant about why crypto didn't fail, its banks did, and why this keeps happening. And there is one really big reason why this actually keeps happening, and we'll talk about that right now. But right now, let me say, cryptos did not fail people. It's banks that fail people. Hell, the only reason crypto is around is because banks failed people in the first place. Crypto was born in 2009, right after the 2008 banking crash. People were like, these banks, they're screwing us and they're costing us a lot of money to bail them out. And you know what? Most of that money is going to probably go filter somehow into its corporate executives. And they don't want the government to actually take over their operations that much and limit their profits or bonuses, even though it's the government's money or our money that they're taking to bail themselves out. And people are like, no, we want a new system. And that's how Bitcoin was born. That's right, bankers. Bitcoin was born because you failed and you're failing all over again. Yes, when cryptos go down, people do lose money, but at least they're losing their money that they knowingly invested in a risky product. They agreed to actually invest that money in a risky product because they were active in the act of doing it. When you fail, they did not agree to that. They did not deposit their money in a bank so you can take risky investments with their money. So when it fails, they lose all their money. No, they deposit money in a bank because the bank is supposed to be freaking safe. That's the whole purpose of a bank. It's supposed to custody people's money and keep it safe. So the thing is, like with crypto, when they invest in crypto and they fail, they knowingly invested. They agreed to invest in a risky product and it lost their money. When they put their money in a bank, they did not agree for you to take extremely high risks with their money. So you can actually make money and they can lose all their money. And that's what's happening. The same thing that happened in '08 is happening 15 years later right now. It's the reason why Credit Suisse is going down. It's the reason why SVB went down. They speculated too much on treasuries. They bought them at a coupon that was too low right now. They can't get rid of them, so they had to sell them at a discount, thereby losing $1 billion. That had absolutely nothing to do with crypto. They did not fail because they invested too much in crypto companies. They failed because they speculated too much on treasuries, and they should not be allowed to do things like that. Now, I will give it to you that treasuries aren't usually that risky, but SBV should have known. You know why? Because the Fed literally told you last year that we're going to raise interest rates. In that environment, you still overdosed on a bunch of coupons. It's like me telling you, hey, this white powder is dangerous. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be really dangerous next year. And you still chose to sniff the white powder. That's your fault. That is not crypto's fault. And here's the thing. When FTX actually went down, it did not cost taxpayers money. It just kind of like died. Now there's a lawsuit going over it, but it just died. It did not cost taxpayers money. It cost depositors money, but it did not cost taxpayers money. When banks go down, they have to be bailed out. And you know what that costs? That's right. That costs taxpayers money. So it's much worse when a bank goes down than when a crypto exchange goes down. And I think people expect crypto exchanges to go down more than they expect a bank to go down. When SVB went down, they actually had to backstop the depositors' money using like customers or people's taxes. When FTX went down, they're like, let's just let it die, which is exactly what happened. So one does actually cost taxpayers money, Credit Suisse, SVB. One does not cost taxpayers money. So therefore, the government should be more stickler on the one that actually costs taxpayers money. Obviously, the regulations aren't working. Gary Gensler is trying to regulate the hell out of everything that isn't a scam, and he's letting all the scams fly by. But now let's talk about why this keeps happening with banks. It's this thing called limited liability. And I'm not saying limited liability shouldn't exist. It was actually invented in the 1600s by some I think it's like the Dutch East India Company or something, or one of those like joint trading companies where like they put everything in a new entity called a corporation, and the corporation assumes all the risk, but they're not personally viable for that risk. But they're basically, at this point, they are basically abusing the hell out of it right now because they're not liable financially or criminally for a lot of these risks that they actually take. They can just take all the risks they want, because the thing is, if it works out, they get these massive, massive bonuses. They're like taking much of the company's profit in bonuses. And if it doesn't work, their personal finances are actually not liable. It's only the company's finances that are liable. It's the investors' money that's liable. It's the depositors' money that are liable. But let me tell you something. These corporate executives, they don't give two shits about anyone else. They only care about themselves. They only care about how big their bonuses are going to be. They don't care about the rest of humanity. It's not their job to care about the rest of humanity. Actually, it should be their job, but they don't give a crap about the rest of humanity. So they're always going to take those risks, no matter how bad they actually are, because they don't stand to lose that much. So think about it. To them, so what if the company goes down? So what if the investors lose their money? So what if the depositors lose their money? They don't lose their money. And since the only people in the world that they care about is themselves, why not take those really bad risks with other people's money? It's basically the unlimited nature of that limited liability that allows them to go after these certain things. Now, I do believe limited liability should actually exist to some extent for the company, for companies and executives. Like if an employee actually acts really badly on his own, not at the instigation of the CEO, like the CEO really shouldn't be culpable for the employee's action all that much. But the thing is, it's the CEOs themselves right now that are making these big decisions to manipulate and take that risk. So the thing is, like, I don't think the limited liability should actually protect them in this case. I actually advocate for pretty much like for decisions that the CEO or the high management team actually makes. I think that should be unlimited liability for them. Maybe not in the criminal sense, but at least in the financial sense. Because if they make a really, really risky decision with people's money, their personal finances should actually be liable, because you're risking other people's money, so your money would be at risk. I think if you put their own ass on the line, they'd be much, much less likely to take a risk with other people's money, because right now there is no incentive for them to actually hold back. There is no incentive for them not to take the risk. Yes, you can poo-poo their regulation, but as long as they're making millions upon millions, billions upon billions of dollars, they don't give a crap about that. And because they don't give a crap about that, they don't really give a crap about how people view them as long as they have the money, and they don't give a crap about humanity. You have to find some way to incentivize them not to make bad decisions. And right now, having limited liability in an unlimited fashion is essentially not giving them any incentive to do anything differently. Until you take away some of that limited liability, they're going to keep making these really, really bad decisions, financial decisions. So I would actually advocate for the decisions that the CEOs or the top executives make for the company. And you have to investigate this throughout. They may not be criminally liable, but they should be fully financially unlimitedly liable in an unlimited sense. That means if they make a really, really, really bad decision, a really risky decision, and it doesn't play out, they might not be able to throw in jail. But the thing is, you should be able to go after any and all of their own personal finances and take all their money to pay back the investors for what they've actually lost. So that is my thought on this matter. So like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button, and let me know what you think on this topic. Thank you and have a nice day.